or make you laugh, make you cry like Ain't Life Funny. Ugh.
Look on this shirt, bro. Look at those arms, bro.
That's like Scott Hall's arms, man. They just fucking put that shit on there.
I love
That's
it,
funny.
dude.
I seen I forgot what I was watching. Damn, I wanted to call you too. It was like some documentary or some shit that was on HBO. But the first chick in it that comes on there. Oh, it was like about this chick that got this guy off for like a murder or something, but it was this lawyer. And he's like, I literally didn't get no chances to get out of jail until I met her. And just the way they intro her, you would have thought it was Guy Fieri until they showed it as a chick. Because like she has like the same hairdo as him. Like, you know, like white women get that like blonde,
like
spiky shit.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, so like they just like show close-ups of that first, and like her hand is like a little, you know, like a fat lady hand. So I mean, it could be Guy Fieri.
Being Guy, it's like I expect, Your Honor, there's not enough donkey sauce on this fucking chicken.
I mean, legitimately, dude, like it looked like Guy Fieri's mom got this guy off for being wrongly convicted for murder. Like that's what I mean. Like she was a bad chick.
Just had wild ass hair like that. It's like, oh god,
it runs in the family. You know, Guy, I thought it was just you, man. But maybe we need to have a sit down. We need to have a talk because the fact you and your people think this looks good, it does not.
I mean. Damn, I guess if you just want to like stand out, but whoever at the initial meeting for his Food Network show was like, yeah, we'll just go with this. Like they must have just not see. They were like, I'm sure he's not gonna come looking crazy or not.
That guy is like their ultimate success story, dude. He's like the Spider-Man of Food Network, man.
He won a contest to be a host on that channel. Now that's all the channel is.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like he's like, it's like Spider-Man became every Marvel comic or something. You know what I mean? Like he just took off, bro. Went to the stars.
Love how much people. I get why people hate him because he's so cheesy, but I just love supporting him to see people because everyone's like, oh, you like that guy.
I mean, it is what it is.
Like to be put on to delicious restaurants. I'm sorry. Have some of
my thing is that
gone too sucked, yes, but you know.
That's what I was saying. Like, I feel like he's not the perfect person to be taking delicious restaurant advice from. Because I mean, like
that, dude.
To me, his idea of delicious to me is bacon or chili on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas you might be like a refined eater, and you're like, oh, put a little bit of saffron petals upon the garnish here just to give it a little essence and stuff. Like if you're one of those people, Guy Fieri's not your dude, you know what I'm saying? Because he's gonna be like, fuck a saffron, I need a baconator. Like, you know what I'm saying?
There's like a French chef like, we marinate this meat for days and then he's like, I put my foot in it and eat this, it's so freaking good. It's like, Jesus, sir. But I mean, he's made how many hours of TV? Like, I mean, it's got to be incredible how much shit he has on there. Because I mean, he's literally the whole brand. To the point now, I think they're putting his kids on shows.
Probably. I mean, that's what they're doing with Chef Ramsay's daughter and shit. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
See,
yeah, I mean,
I need to see some out of Chef Ramsay. He seems to be getting a little tamer. I want to see a video.
Well, what I think,
where he's like really. Remember that one guy? Kendra reminded me. Remember when we watched it that one season, and there was the dude who was so polite that it was he kept fainting. The big fat dude.
Oh yeah.
They wouldn't even go see him in the fucking hospital. Chef Ramsay calls this fucking fat guy in the hospital, and he's like, oh my God, Chef, so thank you so much for calling me. Dark end of that story, that guy's dead. But it was, that was vintage Ramsay. He literally killed a guy with his attitude.
A chair. Jesus Christ. Call 911, please, quickly. 911.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Well, I think it's like you have to deal with Ramsey being in the PC era now. You know what I'm saying? Because it used to
They
be
call people
like,
like donkeys and
yeah.
shit.
Well, I mean, you used to see like even like when he would do like Hell's Kitchen and stuff, like now, like it's just all way more scripted now. You can tell like this is like, oh, this is the segment where he gets sentimental. It used to literally just be like he would go in there and berate you and just be like, this is some bullshit. Like,
Put your
you know what I'm
head,
saying?
put your head in between these two slices of bread.
Right. But to me, like, I don't know, man. Like, I always thought that, like, when he did those rescue ones, like, to me, like, any rescue business idea thing, like, how we talk about that bar rescue thing too, like, to me, it's like, if you've had a job in this industry long enough, you know what you're supposed to do. It's just that nobody's enforcing the rules. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all they do is come in there and just be like, clean the refrigerator. You know what I'm saying? It's like even working at Taco Bell, dude, they fucking clean the refrigerator. Everything comes in there frozen, leaves out, you know what I'm saying, like out the window and shit out the drive-through. Like there's really nothing left around that needs to be like dated and saved, really. Like there is, but it isn't. So like even them, they're doing that. So if you're like a real restaurant and you're not doing it, that's why you're failing.
Well, that's
You
what
know what
I'm
I'm saying? Like
saying.
it's not like
Like, I
some
never
magic shit.
understood that show, like the mechanics of any of those shows where it's like, we're gonna rescue a failing business. It's like, no, that's called that's what business is. Like, if you fail, then you're
Right.
not supposed to be a business. If you suck at running a business, having some rich guy go, we've made the walls all butcher block wood. Look at this, and then
Right.
he leaves, and you fucking let that go to shit. I mean, it doesn't.
Right.
I don't. I guess maybe they can just either it'll get people to go to the restaurant, but if they suck, they're not. Nobody's gonna go and be like a week later. This food's rotten, or whatever the
Right.
shit is. I mean,
Well, because I mean, like, legitimately, like, because I've had jobs in that industry, like, all that comes on the shoulders of someone that honestly isn't as important as the person that is going to matter the most to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're like the chef of the restaurant and somebody gets food poisoning, like, that's your name. You know what I'm saying? That you look bad. But, like, the person that's going to really catch the food poisoning thing is going to be like the guy that cleans out the back of the fridge. You know what I'm saying? Be like, man, this shit stink. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, most people like when I worked in them places, don't be paying attention like that. Like they just trust that everybody's doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Which I mean, it is kind of that guy's job, like to be checking that shit. You know what I'm saying? But if he doesn't or makes a mistake, like when it gets down the line, like a lot of the times, ain't nobody gonna catch that shit, dude. Because like the people on the line and shit, and like the actual chef, like he's doing so many other things that like it could easily fall through the cracks. You know what I'm saying? That's
but
why
I
it's
mean,
just supposed to
like
be right.
he's going to the shit that I remember is just like restaurants where there's rotten food in the fridge.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
maybe that's all staged. I'm sure it is, which we can piggyback on this into something else I wanted to talk about. But just going onto this same thing, if it's not staged and these motherfuckers just have rotten food in the fridge, I don't give them a business. Don't allow them to
Right.
continue. You may be killing somebody by allowing them
Right.
to continue running a business.
Well,
So
my thing is like you can smell that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like it's like a magical thing where it's like, oh man, I didn't know that was rotten. Like it's like a corrupted file on a game or something. Like you might can't see that. You know what I'm saying? You can smell a rotten cabbage or rotten shrimp. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like that shit is
you
right in your
definitely
face. You just
taste it.
ignore it.
You can
Right.
definitely taste. This tastes like I'm getting sick immediately. So something's off. Get Gordon Ramsay in
Exactly.
here real quick.
I mean, but yeah, I
Oh,
mean, it's just we didn't say what's up to everybody too. Just by the
oh
way, I don't
shit.
know. This is episode what 40 or 41 or something.
Bro, you are way off, dog.
I
41,
am.
son.
I
30.
am.
We're at, dude, let me just take over. What's 41? How many episodes? Have you been at recording other episodes or something, son? This is episode 34. What's up,
I
everybody?
thought that last one was 39. So I mean, it
I
just shows you
mean,
where
I
I'm living.
get, it's whatever. You don't,
I'm in the future already, bro. That's what
you're
that
not in the
is.
records keeping business. This is
I just bring up
forever.
controversy.
It'll be labeled correctly, but this, just to clarify, this is episode 34. What's up,
Okay.
everybody? I'm here with
Mm-hmm.
Aaron. He's
Mm-hmm.
out here spitting out nonsense already. We couldn't even introduce the goddamn shit because we got in so quick. I'm being attacked because of shit that I might have said, but whatever. Anyway, we're just gonna keep rolling on this. So welcome to the show, everybody. We love it. We love having you. You know, we were just
Speak
talking
for
about
yourself.
fuck yeah. Stop listening, motherfuckers. We were just talking about like stage television and stage shit for that Gordon Ramsay show. So something I just thought was interesting that I saw in the news this week was Tom Cruise losing his shit on a movie set because people weren't
Oh yeah,
abiding by the COVID shit.
yeah, I saw that too.
So one, I feel like everyone's saying it's a bad look for him, which I don't understand that. I mean, the guys seemed intense in the audio I heard, but I didn't really. I'm sure you know it is. Whatever your opinion is of the actual audio is fine, but my question to you, as somebody who's conspiratorially or whatever the word is, minded, do you think that was real? Because I don't.
I mean, I didn't hear the audio, so I don't really know how he was talking to dude. Like I read what he said. It sounded like he was talking pretty rough to him. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, he's screaming. It's full Tom Cruise. Like imagine his most intense, and he's like, I got the one weird part that I thought was kind of strange was that he's like, everyone's watching this movie. I got the whole film industry on my shoulders right now. And he's just like screaming at these guys. So it's full. I mean, in terms of the intensity, if you haven't heard it, I mean, I'll play it. I'll play a clip right now. I'm going to snap my fingers.
Movies right now because of us. Because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers. And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs, you I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too, and you too, and you. Don't you ever do it again. That's it. No apologies. You can tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down. It's not going to put food on their table or pay for their college education. That's what I sleep with every night. The future of this industry. So I'm sorry, I'm beyond your apologies. I have told you, and now I want it. And if you don't do it, you're out.
And with the magic, we're back after that clip. So Aaron, he's very intense. And I just wonder, because my thought was, you know, Tom Cruise is obviously, you know, we all know his Scientology background, but he's very manicured as a public persona. He doesn't do anything publicly unless it's completely scripted, completely set up.
Right.
So to me, what this was getting some publicity on another Mission Impossible movie, which, for fuck's sake, how many of these things are they going to make? I don't know the last one I saw. I think number 2 or 3.
The last one I saw was like the latest one they made, which it had cool action in it, but like, to me, kind of the problem with Mission Impossible is that it follows like the old movie format of it being like, you know, like a team, like a heist movie. You know what I mean? So like the team in that, like it's like Froggy style and old boy from
dude, do not call Ving Rhames Froggy style, son.
Well, I mean, that's who the cast is, though. It's Ving Rhames. It's the British dude from what, Shaun of the Dead, or isn't that guy in that? Right?
Oh yeah, he is in that. I have seen. Now that you're saying that, I do remember some of that shit. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's them. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, they're cool and everything, but like that's all that movie really is based off. So I mean, like, what is the plot in this one? Like, they're gonna kidnap Ving Rhames' daughter and then have a bomb to stop the world. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like the same plot over and over again. It's like, we're saving the world. It's like, okay, like, how many times can Toretto drive a car and save the world? How many times can you hang from a ceiling and rob a building and save the world? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like, I feel like these movies is like, the movie itself is just out of date more so. You know what I mean?
I think all it is now is that, because I remember the last one. I didn't see it, but I remember the last one. He does all his own stunts, right? That's always the thing.
I think
like,
so.
He does all his own stunts. He broke his ankle jumping off a building and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I think he just, like, the point of these movies now isn't necessarily any story. Like, we all know what's going to happen. He's going to blow some shit up in the beginning, pull a mask off. Oh my God, it's Tom Cruise.
Right.
Whatever. That's James Bond, but whatever. And then he's gonna be implicated in something. He has to go on the run, and a nuke's involved. Maybe as a biological weapon. He saves the world, but the only thing that matters is at one point in the movie, he's gonna do an insane stunt. So, I mean, what's left? He hung off a plane. So he's jumped off buildings. He's ridden motorcycles onto trains, I'm sure. Is he going to space?
I mean, it looked like from the clips that I saw of the article I was reading, they were in Italy, like in Rome, where the water bridges are. So he's probably going to, put a submarine in under Italy and, do some crazy shit like that. I mean, I don't know, man. Like,
go to space. That's the only. I'm saying, like, if the point of these is to push the stunt to the limit, you've already gone to the sky. You've been hanging onto a plane flying. So let's go to space, Tom. Put your money where your mouth is.
I guess, but
there's no COVID in space, bro. That's all.
Here's my thing. To get back on the topic of, like, was it staged or not, all the what was going on behind the scenes, like, I wouldn't put it past them that could have been, because the way that it was publicized, like, to me, I felt like he should have gotten more heat from it, because I didn't really see it. To me, it didn't seem like he really got in any type of, like, kickback from this, like any blowback or anything. You know what I'm saying?
See his intensity. I don't really have any problem with it, and he's weird, so he's always gonna cut. He has he's saying things as an actor, so he knows how to be intense as an actor, and he just does that in real life. But in this case, I think if you analyze what he said, that like this movie is being watched by the film industry at large because it is a big production. Mission Impossible is a big thing. So if right now the film industry shut down, he says that, and they're watching this movie to see if you can make a big budget movie right now because of all the shit that's going on. So he's saying, if we fuck this up and we get COVID in this and we can't film, then that's just going to basically prove that we can't really film big movies right now. And in essence, screech halt whatever the fuck he's making and whatever this the film community at large is making. So I get what he's saying, and in that sense, I don't really think he should be feel like have any negative press at all, because is employing people, he's working, and he's probably one of the main people that's getting that movie made, because otherwise, who's really clamoring to get that made?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, in terms of like, if you do want to have like an alternative theory behind it, like what I think is really going on is, I think maybe that shit was real. His reaction probably was an overreaction because of like all the stress of everything that's attached to what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, he's a guy, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, like, as much as people want to put celebrities in this magical place, like, he's a man too. And like, his livelihood is that of movies. So if they can't shoot movies, he can't make any more movies. He can't make money. You know what I'm saying? And like, he was saying too, like, thousands of jobs as well, because like him, like, he probably is going home and washing his hands and being as strict as he can himself. And then he sees somebody being lazy. So like, he probably right there snapped a little bit because all the pressures, and like, you got to realize, like, they put this shit on TV 24/7, dude, like COVID this, COVID that. And then like, he probably has had that same talk with somebody of being like, man, if we have an outbreak, I don't know, man, it might halt we might not even shoot this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might be counting that money already. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's stuff like that going on more so than it being like, oh, let's fake him being all strong about COVID to protect the movies, or what I'm saying, like to make up for publicity. Like I think he just probably really lost it in that moment. And people were probably even looking at him like, damn, bro, you tripping. But then if you flip it over and look at what he's going through, like I can understand to a degree, what I'm saying? 'Cause, like I'm with you, like I think he's hella calculated. You know what I mean? Like I think he's hella calculated, like you were saying, where it's like, we got to make a good face. Everything's publicity because he has fucked up in the media before, so he knows how I can blow back on him.
He's come off weird.
I mean?
Like I think like every time he's in the media, like recently, it's always like Tom's fucking weird again. Like Tom's doing this again. And I really think everything you said is correct. But baseline, like if you just really want to break this down simplistically, whatever if he wanted to like really say all this shit or not, I'm not saying like this was scripted to that point. I think he had a real reaction and on a day where it was probably tough and he went off, people recorded it, and I'm sure when they caught somebody recording it or somebody just was recording it for whatever reason, when they saw what they had, Tom Cruise I'm sure is really good at spinning shit publicity wise, but I'm sure he has people that are way better than him. And if you just get a clip like that right now and you're like, hey Tom, like we're going to put this out, and not only are people going to know we're making Mission Impossible, so it's already, that's some marketing for the movie, but this is also personally, it's making you look good because right now everyone is really like worried about COVID. You're going to look very like now
what you're saying about the staging, like the release of the information, like I can't say nothing about that. Like what you're saying probably is true too. It's probably an element of control where it's like we can take this natural reaction and use it in a positive way.
Oh yeah,
or you know what I mean? Yeah, like I'm all,
I totally agree with that. Somebody's gonna look at him and be like, you look weird, kind of, but really you're out here saying that we need to be safe, people need to work. This is not a bad look for you. So if even if it's not staged and it just got released, if I'm on his marketing team, I'm going to be like, we're good with this. Like you look good in this because, other than being angry at some people, like that's cool right now, because I think a lot of people would like to do what he did in public when you're in a store and people are fucking up. I'd love to act like he did. Because essentially, this
might be a little
stop fucking this up for everybody. Like you're fucking it up for everybody, and I think a lot of people get that sentiment right now.
Right. I mean, and also, this might be a little bit risque of a comparison, but the way that he comes off looking bad in, like
risque.
You like, well, this is the thing. Like you can give out information and be right, but come off wrong in the way that you deliver it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I think maybe that's the only downside of it. You know what I'm saying? But like, this is like, I'm just gonna give as an example. I'm not trying to be funny or nothing, but like, it's like if you were to like go out in the streets right now and scream at the top of your lungs, like, rape is wrong. We should stop raping anybody in the world. But if you're just yelling that like at the top of your lungs and like that's your message, like on a megaphone, it's like those people that yell about God and stuff. Like you look the same way, even though you might be saying something that is positive. Like it is wrong to do that. You know what I'm saying? But your delivery method behind it is what's kind of fucked up. So like that's what I think was the whole situation. And I think that it might have even been the person that did get that might have been trying to ring a little bit of risk behind the scenes where it's like, well, I can release it here and it can be told like this, or you guys can have it can be told like that. Because like if TMZ get it first, it's going to be Tom Cruise getting mad behind the scenes and they're just going to show the one little clip being like, are you fucking crazy? And then like cut, not even showing like, that like, he was saying like, oh, it's wrong about COVID. You know what I'm saying? Versus them seeing the whole thing and then being like, oh, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Because honestly, dude, like, I feel like there's a whole industry. Like, this is a conspiracy that I would tell you that comes out of this is that there's a whole industry behind capturing footage of people and using it as leverage, whether blackmail or business exchanges or whatever. Like I think that's what Jeffrey Epstein was into. I think whoever had that footage was part of it. Like, it's like paparazzi in like it's a legal way, but then I think there's a black market in that. Just like how you can legally sell weed, there's a black market in weed as well. I think it's the same way with like information and like footage and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you like actually that's what that show Perry Mason did. Like in the first episode of that, like he gets like a picture for this newspaper and they tell him to go in there and get this picture of this guy, and it's like this fat dude that works at the movie studio or whatever. So he gets that, but the guy is sleeping with this woman that's supposed to be like the next new starlet, and he's like, originally it was $50, but now it's $500 because you wanted a picture of this dude, but I got a picture of this. And it's like, and that's worth more. And like, then the dude is like, well, you got us by the balls. Well, I'll let you talk to the boss or whatever. And then he talks to the boss, and the boss winds up whooping his ass later because he's like, we had a deal. And he takes a picture from him, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, hardcore, like, do some dirtbag shit. And then, like, his homie that got the picture with him, it's like, damn, bro, we was about to be rich, man. Like, I was already buying shit for my family, dog. Like, so instead of giving him $500, he gives him $1. Like I gave away the whole plot of the first episode of Perry Mason, so sorry, but like I think that's a real thing. I think there's an underground industry of like information dealing. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what could kind of come.
Well,
out
I mean, isn't that what
anything.
intelligence is? I mean, that's kind of what they were saying Jeffrey Epstein was doing anyway. If you listen to conspiracies, was that he was doing all that dirty shit so that really it wasn't about making money or like enslaving kids. It was about whatever they were doing with these high-powered people. He would record that, and then he would have leverage over all these governments because he's like, look, I got a tape of you fucking some 7-year-old kid. Like, it is what it is.
I forgot what I was looking on. They were saying that the governments like purposefully will follow like some of the most richest people in the world. You know what I'm saying? Like the CIA will just follow Jeff Bezos sometimes. Just, you know what I'm saying, look at his bank, look into his bank files and shit, just seeing what's going on. So I mean, you have to realize like that guy has enough money to collapse like not just one country, but like multiple. Like he could literally
he could end poverty himself.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He could go into Puerto Rico and just be like, hey, I'm gonna do a whole bunch of shit, make a bunch of deals with people, and then just pull out at the last second, leave them all hanging. You know what I mean? Like he can do that with anywhere, you know what I'm saying? Just like fuck a whole earth up. So it's like,
and he does look like an evil type genius too. He looks like a Lex Luthor type dude, so I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm of the mentality that like anytime a rich guy gives money to charity, they're doing that to like buy off a little heat off their back. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like they're giving money to charity because it's like somebody like the sharks are closing in too close. You know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, I'm not a financial guru, but anytime somebody gives a charitable donation, isn't there some sort of taxable scenario where they actually just get that money off as a write-off?
I was about to say, I think it winds up helping like your other money. Like I guess like other monies that you have, I think you can take that money that you gave away to not get that other money taxed less.
Guys, you know we are not financial experts, and I think we should just cut. Like, let's just haul this part of the discussion off. Before
I don't know that much about
let's
that.
turn these guys are retarded, or you know, I
don't know much about that, but like but I do feel like that is part of the reason why they give money. It's not just because it's like, oh, I want to help people. I think it's more like financially it's a good move to give some of this money away versus keeping it. You know what I mean? Like it's a certain point that I think you get so rich that if you have too much money, it starts costing you money to have so much money, so you have to give some of it away.
It's like, what do you
know what I mean?
Like break it off, dude. Like if I come at Jeff Bezos and then say, can I have $1 million to him? That's like giving me $1. Just give me fucking $1 million, Jeff.
I mean, my thing with that,
give us all $1 million. Give everyone in America $1 million, and I think you'd still have money left over.
You know why I don't think those people give money like that to people that say that is because, yes, that is true, but that guy already has more money. Like, just imagine, like, if you started Amazon yourself, right? You would never be Jeff Bezos because what would happen is like you would have probably got like 500 mil up, and then like Amazon or Microsoft or somebody else would have came to you and been like, hey fam, like what's up with that website you got? You selling mad shit on there? Like, hey, let us just buy that off you real quick, homie, for like a quick 800 mil. You know what I'm saying? And you would be like, shit, 800. Like I'm already right. You feel me? Like I'm already up 500, and then they about to give me another 300. Like I could just go fuck off $300 million and still have 500 million in the bank. Like me, a dude like you and me, we gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna take that money, and then we don't want to work no more. You know what I'm saying? But like Jeff Bezos has hundreds of billions of dollars, and he still goes to work every day. You know what I'm saying? Still be listening to like, you know, people probably sending him $1 billion. Dude. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like he has like, so in his mind, work is that so valuable to him that like somebody that would be like asking for $1 to him, it's like, get your ass up and work. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm rich, I still work. Like that's his mentality. You know what I mean? So he would never give us no money because we want to get money to not work. You know what I mean? So in his mind, it's like you ain't about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think is going on in his head. Because like I don't even understand that math, dude.
Come on,
like, if I had billions, Like, bro, like I'm literally sitting over here in my spare time trying to calculate how can I retire with like $100 grand. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could just get a job good enough to get like 100 G's and just like go to like the Philippines and just live the rest of
Oh
my days
my
eating
God.
coconuts, dog. Like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, I'm trying to tell you, bro. If I could just wake up every day in like a peaceful situation where it's like I don't got to worry about where my next meal coming from. I got a roof over my head and I'm chilling and I don't got to work no more. Even if I had to go live in like Kazakhstan and it's just like, bro, you got all the potatoes you could ever eat, son. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to live on a budget of $200 a month American. It's like, man, I got 100,000. I'm good. Like, this is how I'm living, dog. Like,
We're just gonna
That's
be
me.
doing this podcast from like fucking Uzbekistan. Hey
Trying to
guys,
tell you,
coming in
bro.
from Uzbekistan. Hold on, there's some shelling
Like-
going on outside right
I was like, it's
now.
the richest man in Uzbekistan right now, dog. Like, I'm the only person that has an internet connection in this
I brought
entire
a penny
society.
here, and then they just I was told I was a god. So now I'm just,
just
living
telling you,
that
like,
way.
Me personally, like that's my ultimate goal though, is to like work enough to where I don't have to work. Like he's already reached that point and he still works. So like that to me is amazing. Like I legitimately like am impressed by anybody that can do that. But like I'm just me in his situation. If I was the leader of Amazon and I had that much money, I'd be like, bro, I don't want to hear another goddamn thing about Amazon today. And I should be able to push that button and turn it off and they should just leave you alone. But you know that doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he just probably goes to bed and it's just like, Mr. Bezos, Mr. Bezos, please, Mr. Bezos, can we just, it's like, shut the fuck up, everybody go away. Like, I don't even think he can do that. Like, to me, he's more of a slave to that company. You know what I'm saying? But rich slave though.
I mean, Jeff Bezos, why don't you just do Shark Tank yourself? But instead of businesses, people just lay their life on the line. Like they just like lay it all out on the table. And it's, will you just change somebody's life and give them $1 million based off their story?
I mean, hey, I feel like every story would have to be some shit where it's just like, Mr. Bezos, every day I wake up.
No, but you have to
12
like
in the
you have to
morning.
pitch it like Shark Tank, where you're like,
Oh,
"Hey
God.
Jeff, my life sucks. So when I was 2, I was abandoned. See, so you know,
Oh,
it's not,
man.
you don't want it to be too much of a downer. I just want to see like how what is Jeff Bezos like? Does he even exist, dude? Conspiracy.
I mean, I saw actually
ring the bell, bro.
I saw somebody take a video of him and it was kind of weird because like obviously he has security with him, but it was just like somebody just like I guess knew he was like walking through their lobby and they just pulled their phone out and just like kind of got him as he passed by. And it did kind of seem like some fucking deep fake shit where it was just like, you know, just like a
He's a
moving
bald guy,
body,
right?
and then they
He's
just
bald,
like
isn't
put a
he?
head. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
You could
it's like
have
Hitman
anybody
or
do
something.
that. It could be like 18
Yeah.
people.
Hell yeah, age of 41 in this bitch, dude.
I
Like,
mean,
I'm like,
honestly,
42,
that's
it's like-
another thing. See, we're getting kind of like into. God damn it, Aaron. We're getting into conspiracy.
You did this.
hardcore. I know.
You did this.
Fuck.
Not me. I was just
God
talking
damn
about
it.
regular stuff.
All I'm
dude.
saying to back that, and this ties into Mission Impossible with masks and shit, but like, there's been many people in history that had body doubles and shit. And we can go back in time. We could like Saddam Hussein, I know, had body doubles. They would run around, so you didn't know where he was at. And Osama bin Laden and shit. Epstein, probably. He's, I'm sure that was happening. Probably Ghislaine's not there, but whatever. But anyway, I'm so high I lost the track of thought I was on, and I can't.
Well, hey, check this out, though. Check this out. I got you. So, if you want to go into the body double shit, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. So, like, Jeff Bezos could just be a bunch of it could just be a Sinister Six group of people that are like on video monitors, like send another Jeff Bezos out to public real quick so they think he's real. But it's just,
I mean,
they got like clones. It's just like,
I mean, legitimately, if I was as rich as him, I would try to do that. Like, maybe Jeff Bezos really is like, Kaiser Sose type shit, where it's like that guy that we think is Jeff Bezos really is just the guy that he sends out there, but the real Jeff Bezos is just like, the real Jeff Bezos is Guy Fieri. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just sitting back eating fried shrimps and shit all day.
What if it is Guy Fieri, dude?
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's like a guy like that. Like, it's just like some big hungry dude. He's just chilling all day eating, and then like the bald guy comes in that we think is Bezos, and he's just like, what's the reports today? It's like, everything is good, master. They still believe I am
They
you
know
and you are me.
nothing, master.
Right. It's like, yes, go away, you disturb me. And then he just goes back into it,
God,
like
disgusting.
yeah, like it's probably that. But I was gonna say though, check this out if you want to get your mind super blown. So the body double shit existed in the past, right? So just like anything else, technology evolves. So you say to yourself, a cell phone used to be this big, now it's little, it got a TV on it, basically, all this, right? So what if the body double technology evolved the same way? So like now they just basically clone you and kill your clone, and then they think you're dead. So now it's like everything checks out biologically, everything. It's like it's a match. So yeah, that's fucking Epstein on that chair. You know what I'm saying? But really, it was just a hollowless body shell that they recreated of you, but never like brought to life. You know what I mean? And they just dump it out back, and
I mean, dude,
like,
you see what they can even
hard
just
could
do
that
with
be?
like crazy special effects in movies, like physical effects.
Yeah.
They make like fake heads and shit. I mean,
Oh,
even if it's like passable in a cell or something, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, you can 3D print shit.
Well,
it
what's
has to
terrifying,
be
dude?
some Westworld shit out there somewhere where they're making, they make those fuck dolls that look
Oh, yeah.
semi-real. I mean, there's got to be
Check
an
this out.
upgrade on that where it's just like, oh, this is a human being.
I would make the argument to you, we're almost less secure in the digital age because like it used to be in the past when like you would have documents passed like from like a king or something, they would put their stamp on it and like seal up the letter so like they would know if somebody opened it and shit, you know what I'm saying? So like you kind of verify that your information wasn't looked at. But now through the internet, number one, there's no watermark or anything to make it proof 100. Like I'm saying, like that video that we saw of Epstein, like what you said, that could have literally been a whole bunch of people in a room in a green screen for all we know, and it looked exactly like it was real, but it couldn't
you
have been,
mentioned the
what I'm saying?
deep
Like,
fake shit. They can make shit.
Yeah.
They do shit
Yeah.
that is insane.
That's what
I
I'm
can't
saying.
even figure out how they do it, but they do it. So
That's what I'm saying. So like it's possible that what you're saying is true. Like nothing that you see in terms of video, especially, is real. Now, what's supposed to back us up is supposedly like there's internet securities of like, encryptions and all that that's like protecting you, but we know hackers can get into that shit. And then also it could have been that the person hacking it could be the one releasing it in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't like there's no way of verifying anything. You know what I mean? So we're actually less secure if you really think about it. That's terrifying to think that people probably can't even think of this, but like half of what you see basically is probably fake.
If I see a video and somebody it's like gets a big reaction on the internet, I need to make sure that I try to do my best not to react to anything immediately because I just don't believe that shit most of the time.
Yeah, bro.
Like I'll do research. I'm not saying like, oh, I don't believe in everything's a hoax. I'm not saying that, but if it's just some internet video, I mean, again, I've seen deep fake videos where, it could be something funny where it's just like putting somebody's face on a character in a movie you've seen. But when
Right.
you can do it and it's incredible. So if they can do that, they can take a video of some guy walking around, put a fucking face on it, like whatever face they want. They could put my fucking face on it and have me walking around in like New Zealand, and you're sitting there going, well, "What the fuck?" And
well, that's
some deep fake situation. So I don't know.
Well, that's one of the
That's
things.
crazy.
That's one of the most terrifying things about the internet that I think people need to really stop for a second and think to yourself is when you see a video like what you're talking about, where it's like a very popular video that's just like going all over the internet, ask yourself, why am I seeing this? Like, what is the video? You know what I'm saying? Because like the thing that you have to realize is that as that's going around, there is someone somewhere taking analytics of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So they're looking and they're going to say, oh, 95% of the people reacted to it this way, other percent acted to it this way, and the people that reacted to it this way usually respond to things like this. They're in this category of people now. Like they know something about you now based off of that. You know what I'm saying? Like perfect example. And I hate even bringing this up. If you want to do like a year review even type of thing, that whole George Floyd shit, dude, like, you don't think somebody was taking analytics on the back end of that, being like, most people that are agreeing with the cop in this, like putting comments agreeing with the cop on here are, pro-Trump, this, you know what I'm saying? Like, then they get a categorization of that person. Same thing as the people that are against it. It's like, oh, this person is usually into these things, you know what I'm saying? And like, with that information, they can then take those, and do anything with it. You know what I mean? Like, so just off of that alone, dude, like, so you have to ask yourself, why are these things happening too? Because like, it could be something as simple as a dog, you know what I'm saying? Like, the last one I just seen was a dog got into somebody's weed, and they were showing that all over the place and shit. And it's like, why am I seeing that though? You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about the weed, you know what I mean? It's about getting information based off of the response.
It isn't. It's not all about the sweet, sticky, icky. Aaron, you said it.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
it is, but it's not.
It is in your world. We know that.
To me, I think like what's really interesting about that also is that something like George Floyd, where it was like such a huge event, right? There's people that are like social engineers, where essentially all that is another tab in a file where it's like, if a racial thing pops off, here's some evidence of what this happens. And the file for George Floyd is huge because they have all these social media platforms. And like you said, here's the comments that supported the cops. Here's the comments that were against the cops. Here's how many people responded to this immediately and how long it lasted. Right. And it's basically just tools that some like overlord Thanos social engineer type guy is sitting in an office with, I guess, like the government or some intelligence agency saying,
yes,
in
NSA.
this region right here, everyone's pissed off about this. So if we put a little kernel and this will explode. And that's, to me, is what is very interesting about like when people kind of brush off Facebook selling all this data to people and being like, well, what does it matter? I don't have anything to hide. It's really not. It's just like, to me, that doesn't matter. I don't really care if you know what the fuck I do, but it's just like sinister when you really think about what that's being used for. It's not just to tool shit to sell us things. It's to know and maybe predict how we'll react if, say, the government does something crazy,
Well, what it is what it is, I think the danger zone is that they know they have the information on the reaction, like you're saying, the tally numbers, but then when does they decide to not just get the information, but then to also manipulate the information? You know what I'm saying? Because like in any test, like that's what an experiment is. Like if you're doing like, if you remember like being in a science fair shit back in the day, like you would like, let's say grow a plant with cold water and you grow a plant with hot water and see the differences in their growth. So like how hot is hot? You know what I'm saying? Like then you say, well, if I put boiling water on it, then if I put 85-degree water, if I put 60-degree water, you know what I'm saying? Like there's different levels to the tests. Like that's where it gets scary with Facebook, because you might say to yourself then like, okay, something might have naturally happened, like a George Floyd incident, but then they do smaller tests where they say, okay, what if we do this thing where it's just like, a video of anything? It could be something so innocent, you know what I'm saying? Like a little cat, you know what I mean? But then like they get the responses off that cat and then link all that back. Cause like if you saw that Snowden movie, dude, like he talks about when he was in the NSA, like in that movie, like they show him like covering his cameras up and shit because they were saying that like they could go on live feed on anybody's camera anytime they wanted to, even when you think it's off, they could turn it on and then watch you in your house. So basically instantly spy on you. And then like the way that they would wind up getting information on people was that, let's say like you were a doctor, right? And they needed you to like do something for them. They would look not just into you, but then they would look into people around you. So like your wife, your daughter, your son, then his girlfriend, her boyfriend, your wife's sister, you know what I'm saying? Like then her husband, you know what I'm saying? So like eventually you would get into a net where it's like, these people have nothing to do with any of this, but now I'm literally like looking at like through their son's computer, watching them play Xbox, you know what I'm saying? And then I hear him in a conversation on Xbox say, oh, like the N-word or something, right? And now like that guy's supposed to be like some racial dude or whatever in the public. So now I can be like, oh, your son's using the N-word on Xbox Live, use that to put him in the media, you know what I'm saying? Or like, it could be anything. It could be like, oh, your uncle is cheating on his taxes, you know what I'm saying? And like, you're a public figure, boom, boom, boom. They link all that back to you. Like, that's what's so terrifying about it, because like I said, they'll do it through things like a cat video, or you know what I'm saying, like something so insignificant as that, but you could be like, oh damn, he clicked on this, and then after he looked at that, like he looked at this, he went to this, you know what I'm saying, like it could just lead them down a hole of all this information about you, where you would be like, damn, how do y'all even know that? You know what I'm saying? Like when it's all said and done, it's like, you don't even have anything that you did wrong. It could be something that someone else near you did wrong that they could hold over you. You know what I mean? Like that's what's scary about it. Like it's crazy, dude. But that's
and what's really crazy is that I was a victim of a deep fake last week where
what happened to you?
apparently somebody deep faked me talking about Mario Lopez's hog a lot. It's like my mind blown, and I want to first off say those were not I was deep faked. So Mario.
Somehow, Mario, someone got into Matt's house, turned on his Zoom, and contacted me.
The voice that they did was great.
Him. I mean, all these podcasts are recorded. They can make you say anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
they have every word in the dictionary. So Mario, there wasn't us, bro.
Oh man, that shit had me dying laughing last week.
Let me tell you something, dude. We'll get off the conspiracy. Now we can go to KFC and this fucking bullshit ass movie. So
okay,
truth time. I watched this movie with my wife. So
okay, and you were just on the edge of your seat.
I got a couple of critiques. I got a couple of things I wanted to bring up. Now I will say this: the production value, like the cinematography in it, great. Mm-hmm. They knocked it out. It was vintage Lifetime movie, very pastel-y, very bright. Here's the thing. First of all, it's 15 minutes long, so I'm not gonna critique the story too much. There was none really. It's just Mario Lopez shows up looking insane. He has no accent. So, and apparently Mario Lopez doesn't know how to act really, because it's just he's just him talking. He's not there's no acting. He's just like, hey, yeah, got a new secret recipe. So so no one's reacting to how Mario Lopez looks in this movie. They just like see, he looks bizarre. My wife and I just kept laughing. Now, I'll say,
because isn't he like?
I was on a massive amount of edibles, dude. So like,
but this is the thing though. He looks weird because he's like hella tanned and chiseled, and then he has like old man hair and like glasses and shit, and it's just like a weird overall like vibe. Because
Harlan Sanders, he just shows up. Yeah. Like basically, this is what happens: a woman like says no to a guy who proposes to her, some rich guy that her mom wants her to marry. Next day, she's like trying to get it together and figure it out, and then Harlan Sanders walks in, who. Like, first of all, this is apparently her mom arranged for him to stay there because he's one of the greatest chefs in the world, but he didn't have a job. So,
again, I mean, he's falling on hard times, man. Like, look, this is what happened, right?
But the daughter instantly falls madly in love with this guy. And again, it's a 15-minute movie, so I know they got to speed it up, but
Matt, like, just imagine this big sexy colonel walks by you smelling like chicken,
just a huge fat hog, also
smelling like original recipe, bro. You wouldn't fall instantly in love, dude? Come on, man.
I mean, relax, I would lick his fucking face if he smelled like KFC, but I'm just saying. But then this movie just goes and. I'm not. You know what? I don't remember enough of it to really review it. I'll just say that it didn't leave me with the tasty aftertaste of a KFC drumstick. It was more of a shitty McNugget. You know when you get a bad McNugget, like the bad one, like a dry, shitty one. It was like that.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, that was kind of the point we were making last week. Was like, where could they even really go with this? Like the genre they
set it up to continue, dude. Like,
I'm sure it's going to be a Super Bowl commercial.
He takes the girl, they fall in love, and then a scumbag guy who she was gonna get engaged to starts hooking up with the mom, and now they're gonna try to kill. I keep wanting to just call him Mario Lopez. It got real weird, dude. There's a lot of just weird, confused sexuality in this movie. I didn't get it.
Well,
You
that's
would
what
have loved it.
recipe.
I think if you get your hands on this franchise and just do
they wouldn't be
what
ready.
we know you would do.
Oh yeah, they wouldn't be ready. Bro.
I would love it.
I told you, bro. Every one of mine would be named after one of the 13 secret spices, and then in every episode it would just get a little spicy. Oh yeah,
a little extra crispy.
They'd just be like, you get in the offices of KFC and like Mario Lopez sits down, like dick still dripping from just like fucking mad chicks on set, and it's just like, well, guys, let me just say this. Like, the head's like, I really,
dude. First of all, hold up. Dick still dripping with PJ, dude.
I'm talking like literally, like they pull us off set. They pull us off set, and they're just like, Mr. Austin, Mr. Lopez, just come in the office real quick with us. Like, we just want to give you guys kudos. Like, this is possibly the greatest porno we have ever seen.
I mean,
like, just in terms of like the dialogue, the emotional essence captured in everything. Like, it's like I'm gonna watch this when I get home and beat off and cry. I swear to you. But in terms of KFC's look on this, we can't do this, sir. Like we said, recipe of seduction, not insertion, not penetration. Like you've gone this far. They would be like
a 7-way with Mario Lopez and 3 chicks dressed like chicken drumettes. So I'd
be in the background.
We don't know where to go from here.
I'd be at the table like, well, if I could, sir. You didn't get to see the final climax where you were going to actually bring this all into a summary.
You didn't see the final climax, and then that's all you say, and you're like, watch this.
And they'd be like, no, like we truly are so thankful for everything you've done here, but we just cannot air this anywhere but our own houses. Like, well, I'm like, well, I did kind of figure it might be a little bit of problems with the review board there, but
I feel like Pornhub has like a lot of like, they have a lot of users. They could that could be a new marketing thing. You just market to the scumbags.
Well, here's the thing.
That up,
Why would that be wrong though? Like if you were KFC, would it ruin your image to just be like,
I feel like they're not going to be able to show it, but if you could have like some sort of maybe a Venmo type situation or not Venmo, the shit, OnlyFans, that shit. KFC gets an OnlyFans, and then they just have hardcore pornos in there that are of this same nature, but just
brought to you by KFC. No, not even a story. Just be like porn brought to you by KFC.
Fucking,
like, I mean, if they're just like everybody. This is my thing. If they notice what people are doing on the internet, anyways, like there's a subset that accepts that. So, like, I mean, I guess it could be Burger King or KFC themed or whatever, but just have it just be like a standard
like fucking
like
in a KFC or just like on KFC?
Like just have it just be like a Brazzers, but it's just like Brazzers by KFC. So they just put a little KFC
it's just like
logo.
It's just fucking, but there's no KFC like in the fucking. Maybe in the background. They could have like be like eating it at the beginning, like, God, this chicken's good, but God, I just want to just hammer one out real quick. Can you help me out?
But just think about it. Like every time you drove by a KFC, you would want to get something. You know what I'm saying? Like if you watch that, like you would instantly just be carnally attracted to it, bro.
But what you're saying is you're trying to subliminally manipulate people who are constantly watching pornos. So if you just have a bunch of brain dead guys coming in half busted, walking into KFC with their dick out like, hey, I can't come unless I eat a KFC drumstick, okay?
Hey, man, it is what it is. Like, they would be rich as hell is all I'm saying. I guess maybe there's some
we gotta like examine who to bring this to. But it can't be, I don't think KFC is, but maybe who's like, I think Wendy's might be into this.
All I'm saying is this.
They're old fashioned, but I feel like we can turn them into like, you need to rebrand this into some straight hardcore fucking.
I mean, like, I'm just saying, like, you have like the standard regular Wendy's menu, and then you'd have 18 and up Wendy's menu. You know what I'm saying? Where then, like, if you had like a superstar like Wendy's porn celebrity, you could be like, brought to you by, Stormy Daniels Baconator. You know what I
They could
mean?
all just
Like,
be, you get like a different porn chick to have the hair, because all it is the hair. Just put a wig on the bitch. So
yeah, I mean, I'm just, yeah,
a bunch of
like,
different Wendy's getting drilled by whoever. Like,
I just feel like there's room for
what
growth
the
here. Is
fuck
all
are
I'm
we
saying, dude.
talking about, dude?
Matt, we're creating a new industry as we speak right here, bro. Adult fast food lane, bro. Because
I
you can
mean,
still have the kids menu. Like, I'm just saying, like, why isn't that, like, why is
does
that
fast
wrong?
food have to be marketed to kids? Like, I want to see some titties, and then I'll buy some fucking Burger King
Yeah.
on the spot. Show me
Yeah,
a
that's what I'm
giant
saying, bro.
ass, and I will
And
go
then look,
there.
on the flip side, it works for the industry because then you could be like getting discount codes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, get 15% off this subscription when you buy 3 Whoppers. You know what I'm saying? Or like, buy 3 Whoppers and get 15% off the website. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's mad shit you could do, dog. Like, I'm just saying that there's an untapped market, and I don't understand because, like, if you can have Budweiser and they only market to adults, because like you can't sell beer to kids, right? So like every beer commercial, like, I'm not saying they go hardcore or whatever, but even if you did, like, let's say like you had regular beer commercials, then you had hardcore beer commercials, like, would that be like a nail in the coffin for that business where it's like, oh, Budweiser did a porn, I'll never drink another Bud. You know what I'm saying? It's like you watch it anyways. Like, now it's just somebody trying to sell you some shit while you did it. Like, I don't think that's a bad thing. Like, me, like, if McDonald's made a hardcore porn, like, I wouldn't be like, I'm never gonna eat a chicken nugget again. That's all I'm saying. Now, I'm sure there's some people that might feel that way, but I think they'd get over it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna go more like storyteller, and it's gonna be with Olive Garden, and it's always just gonna be like, hey, I have a job interview in an Olive Garden tonight. And then it just starts, and they're like, so how'd you like the endless pasta bowl? And you get a little advertisement for Olive Garden right in naturally. And then after he like eats a breadstick, or she eats a breadstick, and they're like, you know what I'd love to do right now? And then it just breaks off into some straight, not even hardcore. Like, my vibes are more of like that 90s Cinemax Playboy Channel porn where it's,
I mean, you could definitely have that.
Of just real heavy guitar solo shreds.
I mean, that would be for the upscale Olive Garden.
Like,
you know
Miami Vice music.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. But then you'd have like Taco Bell, where it's just like chicks just getting drilled at Taco Bell, where it's just like straight up, like it's just like hardcore, dude.
That's
like,
the
all the way
disrespectful one, where it's just like, can I have some fucking respect, please?
You a Taco Bell bitch, you get no respect around here.
You knew what this was when you walked in, bitch.
You wanted a grande, goddammit, here it is. Yeah, so I mean, like, I know we're sick, everybody, but I'm just saying that to me, that's not gonna.
Is even better to tier it to the quality of the food. Like, that's what the porno is. It's like,
yeah, hell yeah.
Hometown Buffet is just gaping porn, where it's just like a giant.
Oh god, it's just like it's like that German shit that you see. Like, you ever click on those European ones and it's just like, holy shit, like, what is going on? Like, that's Old Town Buffet.
That's why I don't like Pornhub, because every once in a while you'll just be like watching something and it ends, and it's like something will play. It's like, is this woman like drowning? Like, what the fuck kind of porno is this?
There's some weird. I'm trying to tell you.
Bert Kreischer brought up the weirdest kind of porn, and we may have even brought this up on an earlier episode, but it's called quicksand porn, where it's literally fake. I mean, obviously it's a porno, but it's just like chicks drowning in quicksand. Then, like, as they're drowning, they like blow a guy.
Like, all right,
that's some.
I mean, to me, like, if you really like, I'm like, now we've given all this love to porn. Like, I do want to go ahead and just throw this out there, though. Like, you're talking about seeing sick shit. Like, even the idea of porn, anyways, is fucked up, because it's just like, you know, some chick is like saying like she's 18, 19 on there, but like in real life, like if you're 35, you're not gonna mess with no 18-year-old, bro. Like, and if you
Not a
do, like
good
everybody's gonna be like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess maybe that's part of like the whole fantasy of it, I
There's some
guess, is
people
like
that
that's why
can do
people like
that,
it. I
dude.
mean,
Some people can do that, dude. I went out with that one girl when I turned 30. She was like 20. And
I mean, but even then, I mean, that sounds better than 19, 18. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's like you're 30, it's like, I'm going out with 18-year-old chick, bro. Like, technically,
this
that's an
doesn't
adult,
work,
but
if you're an
yeah,
actual real like healthy
person.
it just
Yeah,
doesn't work because
yeah, dude.
it's just weird.
Now, I'm not saying that you couldn't, like, you know, bang one of them
I
chicks if
mean,
they were saying they
you can
wanted to,
party.
but
It's not like a problem. I'm just saying, like an
yeah,
extended real relationship. It's just not
yeah,
gonna
that's what
work.
I'm saying.
You know,
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's
different
what I mean.
area.
Like,
So
yeah, it's a little weird.
Aaron's trying to
Now,
do a little bit of that. It's strange.
now here's something I would throw out there. Do you think that the ideas of even like that whole like older younger thing in just a relationship in general, excuse me, is kind of like played out though? Because like everybody's getting to this whole like sexual liberation type of movement. So like maybe the idea of even like being in a marriage is kind of dumb. Cause like I feel like our generation, dude, like you're one of the few that like got lucky, like at an older age, you were able to meet somebody that's, you know, close in age and y'all vibe and y'all want to stay together and shit. But like I feel like a lot of people in our generation, dude, are getting older and older. And just I see the posts on Facebook and types of shit. It's just like, man, fuck everybody, man. Like,
yeah, dude. I feel
you know what
so.
I'm saying?
Believe
Yeah,
me,
like
as somebody with a wife, a lot of my friends aren't in that situation, so it is weird. And
yeah, dude.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't know. The age thing, to me, like I've dated women older than me, and like my wife's younger than me. I've been like on each end of the spectrum, and that should never matter to me. And I think it matters even less to people younger than us.
Well, I think it depends on what age group.
Especially to
Like, because
women,
like if
dude.
like
Yeah,
your
I've
wife,
met women that have like dated like 30, like you said, they're like 18 and they've dated 35-year-old dudes or something. It's like, are you fucking
yeah,
crazy?
yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Like that to me is a little bit weird. But like if a chick is like 26, 25, like, and you're in your 30s, like I don't think that's too big of a gap. You know what I mean? But like 18, bro, and you're 30
Yeah.
something, like that's
I'm telling
weird,
you,
bro. I
dude.
don't know.
I dated a 19-year-old when I was 24.
Yeah, and
And
even
to me,
that,
that
yeah,
was too much.
yeah.
And
I
then I
mean,
dated
that's not bad,
a girl
but
when I turned 30 because I guess that was my midlife crisis. And it was too much. Like literally, this is kind of embarrassing to admit. That chick was hot, but she was young. And I got to a point where it creeped me out that I was like dating her because of that. I was like, I don't
yeah,
know, this is weird. And
that's what I'm saying, man.
my dick stopped working.
Well, I mean, to me, I feel like that's what would happen. It's like eventually, like you're gonna sit back and look at yourself and be like, "Damn, bro," because like it's one
I
thing
mean,
if like
she
you
was
like,
hot, dude. I was like,
yeah,
man, I can't believe this is happening. At the time, I thought my dick was broke, but it was really, I just could. It was like to me, it was just weird. It was like I don't want to hear about. I'm 30. You telling me you were at like high school shit?
yeah. Well, that's what I was
I'm,
about to say. Like they haven't had a chance to like go out and live their life. Like that's why like a 25-year-old is a little bit better because like okay, you've been out your parents' house for a while. You know what I'm saying? Like you can kind of look and be like you've made mistakes on your own. But if somebody's 18, like you said, it's like they're recalling like, oh man, when I was in 8th grade and this and that. It's
yeah,
like I remember stuff from 8th grade too, but it wasn't 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I
Like,
don't know. I mean, I
you feel
do
me?
too, but it's like you're right. I mean, it just as you get older and older, that shit fades away. But I mean, I
Exactly.
don't like overall. I don't know, man. It's weird because I do see a lot of my friends not shacking up, not having like a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever. And to me, to like when I say I have a wife, like we are married in like in spirit. Like we haven't gone through the ceremony or signed any papers.
Right.
So to me, we're gonna do that eventually when we can,
Right.
but that even just that is enough. And I think like if you went back like before our generation, that's like a wild kind of thing to do. People wanted to get married and sign the
Oh
shit,
yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
all that. and it had to be that specific way. And I think with us, that changed. And now, like where we're at now with, I mean, especially right now, you know, I do think the concept of marriage in general and, you know, I guess
Well,
even
I'm
being
getting
in
at-
like a committed relationship long term is just sort of going to the wayside. I really don't know what the reality is now because I haven't been in it
don't
for
either.
so long, but
Well, this is my thing. Like, I'm really a terrible person to talk to about this because, like, I just naturally like have never been like a relationship dude in terms of like even in high school and shit. Like, I had like one or two girlfriends, but I was never like constantly like feeling the need to be like, oh, I need to be with somebody, or like
I've always
even
been
feeling
the opposite of that.
or even just feeling inadequate by it. Because some people feel like, oh, I ain't got a girl, so I'm not cool or whatever. And it's like to a degree, sometimes I think like that, but it's not that like I couldn't get a girl. It's just that like I legit like don't want to put in the time to invest to be with somebody and like really be their man. Because like that's the thing about it. It's not that like I don't want to like party and have fun or like be around women and shit, but it's just that it's like we can do that, but then like if you want to be around me and hang like and I'm really gonna be your man, like I understand that's like an investment in someone. You know what I'm saying? And like that's what marriage is too. It's like an investment, dog.
But I
you know
think,
what I'm
like,
saying?
honestly, what you're saying is how I think everybody feels, and all that.
That's what I was about to say.
If you meet the right chick, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, I think that the way that the modern era has changed now is that people are looking at it that way, where it's like literally like I have to invest not only my time, but also like financially too. Like, you like if you get with somebody and they not about they money or like trying to get better, like you're gonna inherit that and then either wind up carrying them along or both y'all be broke or always struggling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause,
Or like in my case, one of the reasons legit we have not signed paperwork is that I had so many student loans that to crawl out of that, like I didn't want to have her. You get connected to that, you know?
Right,
Like,
exactly,
I don't want my
yeah.
wife to screw her fucking credit up because I'm a dumbass.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah,
But this is the thing too. It makes sense too. Like if you can have that real strong bond with someone, I was looking financially, it actually makes more sense to not get married. Or if you do get married, to file everything separately anyways. Because what you would do is like, let's say y'all get a house and like her credit's good enough to get one on her own, get it in her name. And then when your credit gets good enough to get your own house, get like an investment property in your name. You would have two mortgages, but if you get that investment property where somebody rents it or whatever, then you could have someone paying the mortgage on your other place with that one while you pay the other one, and then y'all just collect a whole nother salary. You know what I'm saying? Like it's ways to play it in the system, but like I think that our generation is more mindful of that. Cause like, dude, like I'm telling you, like somebody my age, like a woman, like if I meet a woman in her 30s, 28 or whatever, like she's probably making more money than me because like I ain't making a ton of money, you know what I'm saying? I ain't broke or nothing by any means, but they're gonna look at me and probably be like, he not financially where I want to be. But then I think like they want to build with somebody though? You know what I mean? Because like I feel like everybody now just wants to meet somebody that's already got their money together, kind of got a good head on their shoulders, got all their shit together. And it's like those people really ain't out there like that. Those people are already taken up, you know what I'm saying? Or like doing what they want, you know what I mean? Like those are the choosers. Really.
But I like
that's what I think.
I think a lot of people that's not the case now. I think what you're saying would have been true 10 years ago, but now not so much so. But I think going back to what you were saying earlier about hold on. Let me get a drink real quick. About putting in time with somebody and like somebody being able, like wanting to invest in you, like if you're not necessarily where they're at.
Right.
I think one thing, the easiest way to find that is just to be honest with somebody. So like an example I would use for me personally was that I started online dating after I got out of like a bad relationship, which is well chronicled on here. And when I did that, I would basically meet up with chicks and we would have conversations. And in some ways I would try, you know, just like everybody, you want to sell yourself and you don't want to emphasize those things that you're not necessarily feeling that good about, like not having a car, not having a lot of money. You know, I would just not really go into that. And when it got brought up, I would just kind of come up with some bullshit explanation or whatever. So
I was lying, basically.
And hooking up. Yeah, lying. But I mean, we had cars, but you know, it was just, why do I not always have a car?
Oh yeah, we had cars, all right. Goddamn it! Oh lord.
Or
We had
like
some
that
vehicles.
old, remember that brown like maroon car I had that would just overheat all the time? Like it's like, yeah, I could come pick you up if you live 3 blocks away, but other
Hey
than
yo,
that,
this me and Matt to get groceries. My Prius broke down, y'all. This is just a little quick side story, and we live like 5 blocks away from the grocery store. My Prius could maybe get us 8 blocks and then shut off basically altogether. So we would take our Prius the 5 blocks, park it, walk the rest of the way to the grocery store, carry our groceries back to our parking spot, and then get those other 5 blocks back home with the stuff in the car so we could get all our groceries every week.
bro,
And
I used
like
to
some
jog to
soldiers,
the goddamn grocery store and
I was
then
about to
walk
say,
a week's worth of groceries back like a caveman, bro.
oh shit, man, my bike handlebars used to be bit from riding all the groceries back sometimes, bro. Have a book bag and
but
3, 4 bags on your shit, and like going hard. But
But
anyways,
anyway,
yeah,
like
yeah.
going back to what I was saying, that when I was trying to get laid, and also obviously a lot of that shit would come out and we'd start talking. But most of the time when I was dating, it was chicks that were financially kind of at the same level as me, I guess. Like I never really experienced anything where I was like maybe a flight attendant or something, but there was never like I met a CEO or it was never on that
I
level.
don't know, bro. It
But
seemed like every chick I've been
when
meeting
I
out
got
here is
over
like
it and
balling.
sick of online dating and like I was getting like I almost stopped. Like the day I went out with my wife, if you remember, it was the same day we kicked Shorty out of the house. Like it was the same day.
Oh,
The
okay.
cops left that day, and then I went
I didn't
on
know it
my
was the
first
same
date.
day.
It was the same
Oh
fucking
damn, I didn't know it was the
afternoon, bro.
same day. Oh
So
wow, that's
I
crazy.
went from the cops left, she left, and then I left and went on a date. But like all up until that point, I was like at this date, I just was like I just completely laid it all on the table. And I say all this just to say that if you want to find like it's all mind state. If you at this point don't want to find some chick to like put time into and invest in, that's cool. But at some point, you might want to do that. And when you do, you're going to start choosing to speak to people who you want to invest that time in. And when you do that, you'll be more honest with them because you have a goal in mind that you want to attain. And just like I did, I was like sort of over it. And then I met my wife and I was like, I'm just going to be as honest as possible. And I like her. I'm going to see where this goes. You don't have to like immediately be like, um, I'm in love with this chick. I want her to invest in me. It's like something that happens over time, but it's like
Yeah,
more
yeah,
so
yeah.
you have to. I get what you're saying, and I understand it completely, but I'm just saying that might change, and all it is just it seems like a momentous change in like your mentality, but it at some point it probably will, or maybe it won't. But if it does,
Well, what I think it
you'll just have an
is that
intent, and that's what gets you to like ask those questions. And I think like more than anything, if you're honest with somebody, that's where you get that respect, and that's where you get that relationship where you are, you know, have it's more like a friendship than like
right, right.
you got friends and then you got a girlfriend, and it's I don't really think I act too much differently with Kendra than I do with you.
Right. But no, I think that what you're saying is the truth. You have to have that mindset of like, wanting to be open and stuff. But I think you have to meet the person that wants to be in that same mind state too. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what it is. Like both people have to kind of decide like, oh, okay, I'm willing to try this, you know what I mean? Because like
But
I
that's
feel
where
like a
the
lot of
honesty
times,
comes in,
oh
because
yeah,
if you say
exactly. Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
and then that automatically, if she comes back and says the same thing, then you know what I
Right,
mean?
right, right. See, my problem is that what we're talking about or trying to invest in the people and all that, like, I just don't think I really am ready to want to do that because, like, I just ain't happy with where I am personally in terms of like my money and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't really got nothing to do with like nobody or
But
anything or even
also, it's
thinking that
very
I'm,
complicated
yeah,
right now. I'm assuming to even get in
yeah,
touch with a woman and like meet, like to me, I would be
yeah, for
mortified.
sure that. Oh yeah, for sure that is already complicated. But my thing is just like I feel like I kind of don't really just like I said, like I just ain't got like all my shit together, bro. Like once I got my own place and all that, and like I feel like I'm set up, like then I would be willing to
I
maybe
get
put
it.
myself out there more, you know what I mean? But like in the meantime, like dude, I'm telling you, like maybe just because the area I live in, most of these chicks, bro, they got their head on straight, bro. Either like doctors, nurses, like fucking tech people, bro, like also ultimate
Yeah, but I
marketing
mean, you
people. You
also
know
have
what I
a
mean?
different
Like,
story. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not. I
oh
get
yeah,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
might be successful, but that don't mean shit. Like, because I know
Oh yeah.
a lot of people that are nurses and shit like that, where you think, oh man, they got all their shit together, but you know, you have like you like I'll suck your dick for a minute. Like, you do have an interesting story. You know, like you tried to do some shit. You're doing shit. You're trying to plan for the future. It's not like you're on the couch playing Sega all day, you know, beating your dick, and you just try to go out and fuck, and you're just like, yo, watch me play video games, you know.
No, that is what I do, man. That is what I do, man.
Not really, because you do have a job and you do have
Oh yeah.
plans, and you are, you know, we did live out here. I mean, I know we did a lot of that shit, but we did try some shit. I mean, even just that, some people would never
Well,
even ever fathom doing half that shit. So I mean,
oh yeah.
I get what you're saying. And I mean, right now, I don't think dating would be at the top of anybody like my list if I was single, but
Oh yeah. Well, you know what my problem is, bro, is that I have like kind of different values in terms of shit. Cause like I feel like a lot of people value like that worldly shit of like money and houses and shit, which to a degree I want to have those things too, just so that more so I'm accepted by the public, not really that I care about it as much. Cause like I'm cool. Like I would be cool living in a trailer, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as it's comfortable and like I'm not freezing or hot or whatever,
I'm
like I'm fine with
I
that.
almost
You know what I
bought
mean?
one, bro. Like at the
Yeah.
beginning of the pandemic, I almost bought one and said, "Fuck it, I'm moving to the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere." I swear, I swear.
Yeah. Like I'm totally fine with that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like to me, what I'm more concerned with is like how someone is like internally. Like, are you a balanced person? Are you a fair person? Are you a kind person? Because like it's like you said, dude. Like it'll be people that are doctors and lawyers and nurses, but they'll be like unstable. You know what I'm saying? Like, not I know people like that they have big time jobs and shit, but then like small things happen to them, dude, and then they're like
Yeah.
yelling and screaming and like, why is me? And it's like, dude, at least you
Or
have the money to
constantly
solve this.
sad, like they might just be sad all
Yeah,
the time. You know, there's
that
people that
too.
go
That
through
too.
life and you like never would know that shit.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, but it's just like I understand like there's people that deal with different things different ways, bro. Because like I remember I told somebody that I didn't like LA and they were looking at me like, what do you mean? And it's like I was broke all the time. And then in their mind, they looked at me like, what the fuck? How are you broke all the time? Because like they didn't live that reality of LA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whereas like if I were to tell you like the reason why I like Atlanta and Nashville is because I had mad money back then. You know what I'm saying? Like I was making moves, you know what I mean? It's like I had fun. I was doing my own thing. But then I got to LA and it was like, bro, I'm fucking broke, dude. Like 50% of the time I'm broke, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to figure out how to make a hustle move to make something happen. And it's like, I don't want to live like that. You know what I mean?
I
Because
mean,
like
dude,
now
this
that I'm
city
here,
is so fucking crazy. It's hard to even really
oh, bro.
explain to people because I think everybody thinks that. I talk to a lot of people that I know from like high school and shit, and even just the tone of my voice about where, because honestly, I mean, in the past couple of years, I've been very lucky, but for the most part, this city fucking drilled me into the ground, made me into like completely over and over again, just made me feel like shit. I got cancer for God's like there was no positivity other than me meeting somebody like my wife and we, you know, us doing some shit. I didn't really like it. And even now, it's just one of those places, man. It's beautiful visually, and like I'm proud that I'm still here. I feel like I'm like some sort of survivor. Just I've made it this endurance test this long, and right now I'm actually doing too pretty good. But you know, I this place is not a great city. I would never recommend somebody just come here and just, you know, like I did, come here with the most minimal of plans, you know,
Right.
no real savings, nothing, just a dream and a couch to sleep on and try to make it. You know, I came out
That
here
is
with
not the
nothing.
move.
That's it. I didn't have a
Yeah.
car. I didn't have that much fucking money. I was sleeping on the couch in Hollywood. And from then on, it was just a little upgrade of shit, like a little extra that was got me out of that shit, but just a little. You know, whereas if I move
Well, I
someplace
mean-
else, you could do whatever the fuck you want.
Right.
And I think a lot of people go through that. But I mean, in terms of just going back to what we were saying, I don't want to trash. We've trashed LA plenty, and I can do that. I'm moving out of LA slowly. Like I keep just moving south until I just get out completely. At some point, hopefully, I'll just be out of the state. But
Well, I mean, mad people are leaving all the big cities, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're kind of exactly what we're talking about. You know what I mean? Where it's just like they moved there with a hope and a dream, and you know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, you know, I'm new to New York or wherever, San Francisco, and I'm gonna go out here and try to, you know, be artsy and all that. But like the way that you really do that, dude, and like this is something I figured out probably like halfway through film school. Most of the people in our film school class were beyond rich, dude. Like not them personally, but their parents, dude, like had mad bread to a way that like you wouldn't even comprehend. So
Yeah.
like they could afford to like go to New York and like ask their parents for hundreds of dollars every month to like make up for their shortcomings or whatever because they're only getting paid like, you know, $10 an hour on the set, or you know, even if they aren't in film or whatever, you know what I mean? Like me and you do, like we were from like normal families and shit, and like I've said this to people before, like we're from the type of families where we really should not have gone to college at all. Like I know that sounds
I
bad,
should
but
not.
like
I've
yeah,
said
like
it many times.
yeah, yeah, like because financially, like your family couldn't afford it, my family couldn't afford it, so we went into debt to get an education to then try to get a job. You know what I'm saying? And then like on the back end, we chose industries in which that shit is hella fickle, anyways. You know what I'm saying? Because like you see, the film industry now is gone. Whereas like if we had went to college and became doctors, like at least we would have still had jobs. You know what I'm saying? Or like
Or
more
just
money,
started
whatever.
a business, you know, like anything
Yeah,
where we could rely on ourselves. I
right,
mean, I'm fortunate. I
right.
don't know how I'm still working, but I am. So
I mean, it's just the fact that you're not an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Because like that's the thing, bro. Like people like this is what I think I would have been more successful with in my life is if I went into the workforce after high school for a few years, save money up to then take classes on the side in the industry that I was really wanting to get into. You know what I'm saying? Or if not even the school route, work in an industry long enough to get a promotion and just be saving money, dude. Because like at the end of the day, like I see what the power is to have savings versus not having shit. Cause like, bro, it used to be when, you know, you get your check and it's like, bro, half of this is gone already. Cause I gotta, you know, pay rent and shit. And then like I'm trying to save $400 every month, but I wind up saving 200 because shit happens or whatever. Like you are barely making ends meet. You know what I'm saying? Cause like anything happens to that $200 saving that you get every month, now you're behind. You know what I mean? And it's like mad people that live like that, bro. Like that's how our
I
bills
mean, that's
was when
how
we lived in
I was
LA.
living constantly for like a
Yeah,
decade plus. Now, like
yeah,
just
same
even
with
be
me.
able to go to a grocery store and be like, oh yeah, I'll get that. Just
Yeah,
like randomly
exactly.
just buy some shit, not worry about how much it costs. Like just having that freedom, not to do it all the time, but you know, if I want something, I could. If I wanted a PS5, I could buy it.
Right. Like that's what I'm
Like,
saying. Like these are luxuries that me and you are just now getting to that like
crazy. I'm
other people
37 for everyone's like this is not something a 37-year-old should be saying like, "Oh yeah, just last year got this ability to buy the groceries I want to buy
right.
without
Right.
knowing my savings is gone at that point."
Right. But it's just because like I said, it's the
That's
decisions that we
LA.
make.
That's why we're
Yeah.
saying we don't like LA because you have to perpetually live like that and
Right.
either get crushed to
8
the ground
jobs.
and just say,
Yeah.
fuck this, I'm leaving, which I was like I wanted to. I still want to, but or you just stay it out and consistently every year get a little bit more so you can kind of stay living in the same general comfort zone. Like you know, we know that Sean, our friend who was a co-host on this show a while back, he just moving from California to Nashville with no bump in pay, just the no, non-taxes that Nashville has, is like getting a 50% pay increase.
Yeah, bro. Like what's crazy
Crazy.
about that, the way that you know that that's the smart move to go is like I would have never thought Sean would have moved. You know what I'm saying? Like he was so
He
big
said
on
he
trying to
didn't
like,
like he was not he you know
yeah.
at first he didn't know how he felt about it, but I mean if somebody told me I'd make double the money just by moving, yep, unless
Well,
it's
speaking of that,
Orlando, Florida, nope.
oh yeah. Well, speaking of that, I actually just heard from my other job that they're gonna go ahead and get that other route. So I'm gonna now double my pay up here. Yeah. Which is just amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like we talk about making progress and stuff, and like that's what's crazy about being back in the area where I got support, you know what I'm saying? Like I was able to kind of like lay low for a minute. Like I'm not trying to put all my business out there, but I live with my family and shit, you know what I'm saying? And like in order to do that though, like then I was able to meet somebody where now I've got this opportunity, you know what I'm saying? Because like had I only got the job that I had now, like I would have just worked in that office, dude, and been doing the same shit again, just making just enough money to get by, but not really like get ahead, you know what I'm saying? So it's a crazy shit, man, like how life is, bro. But like I think that we just got sold a bill of bullshit goods when we were in school, bro. That was like the American dream is real. And what the real American dream is, dude, is that you have to make them numbers in your bank account go up. Like that's the key to the American dream, dog. And however you figure out how to do that, that's up to you. Whether it's stock market shit, hustling, whatever. But if them numbers ain't going up, if they staying the same, or if they going down, especially, you will be out in these streets living in a gutter, dude. Like that's how this shit is designed. Like that's how fucking the market is set up, bro. Like if you ain't making no money, you will be out there because like who gonna give you a place to stay? Like if you ain't got no family and shit, like we're like even as hard as we're talking about, we've had it. We're blessed. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like
nothing.
Like this should be like a success story, and it is. Like,
well, what I'm saying though is that we had help.
Like ditch that we had to dig out of just to get here. I mean, fuck. How many people didn't dig themselves out of that ditch?
Or was in a deeper hole, you know?
I could name many people that are doing way worse than we are right now that were in the same boat as we were back then. And that's not to cast any shade on anybody because that could have been me. Quite frankly, I could be dead. For real.
Hell yeah.
I gotta feel blessed just to be here just off that. So like for me, I don't really have any regrets because I know what the reality of the situation could be. Like, I'm glad that I'm here. I just think like what we went through is actually really going to be a means of profit for us. Like, we're going to translate that.
I was just about to say that.
Like later on in life. And, you know, that's kind of the story a lot of people could have. I mean, there's a lot of people that didn't find success as shit until way later. Like, you know, like Rodney Dangerfield or somebody like that like worked his whole life and then he became famous, or like then he was a success story at 40 something. Like that's my dream now, is to do that. Cause you know, whatever. My life was what it was in my 20s. Like, I don't have a lot of financial benefit, but I got a lot of great stories and like good experience to build off of from that. And, you know, it is what it is. I think like that shit was really going to mean a lot in the next few years.
Well, I was about to say, I mean, that's kind of what I've noticed is in going through all that, now I've understood like what it takes to get to a new place. You know what I'm saying? Like what it takes to like elevate, and then like just the feeling of like how life is all programmed by yourself. Really, that's what I've noticed about it, bro. Because like there was times in LA when I was up, you know what I'm saying? And I had bread and shit, and like I was doing stuff. Like it was kind of through weird circumstances. Like when I got that money when I hurt my shoulder. So like I took a loss and then I kind of got a gain. But like I'm telling you, bro, like even then when I was in LA and I was sitting on like at a point, I had like maybe 15 G's in the bank, you know what I'm saying? And like all my bills was paid. I had a job too. So like it was like right when I was working at Powerhouse, and I just got a car and all that stuff. So like I was working at that gym. And I had like my money kind of together, and I was like starting to see, I was like, oh, like I'm actually saving money now. You know what I'm saying? Like this changes things, you know what I'm saying? Because it used to be that, like I said, we lived a life where we would either like have just enough money to get by or be in a deficit. And it was like, what the fuck? Like I just spent all this time working. Like I didn't get nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck is going on? Versus like you had 2 G's that you saved this month, and now next month you saved another 2 G's. You have 4 G's in the bank, and now it's like, damn, if my car were to break down right now, I'd be okay. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like you literally every day would go to work in a jalopy for $400 and be like, man, I just hope I don't get stuck on the road. You know what I mean? Like it's just different mindsets, bro. Like that's what I learned about it. You know what I'm saying? Like seeing that difference showed me the way to like move ahead in life. You know what I'm saying? Like how much money you need to be making, what you need to do with it, how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Because like that's the real key to America, bro. It's like not getting money, but how do you use the money that you get? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, this has been the uplifting hour with Aaron and Matt, where we just
we talked about everything today.
Success
But I think that's a good place to end too. I'm with you. Hell yeah.
I mean, for real though, like this is some good ass shit that to me, it's a beautiful thing when you've gone through some crazy fucking shit, dude. I mean, we've talked about all the fuck shit. I mean, most of it that we went through out here, going through all this insanity. And when you come out of it, and like you said, we actually learned a lesson. You know, we're not sitting here like, man, fuck, this shit was all stacked again, you know, taking it,
right.
absorbing it, which, you know, is a lesson I think to cap this off that a lot of people now need to have that, you know, learn from this shit. Whatever you're going through, like just build on it, and if you can get through it and like make something out of it. Don't just be mad that you went through some bullshit. Because I did that.
Oh shit.
I was very mad about a lot, like Orlando and shit like that. Like, not, you know, it's hard to take an L like that. It's hard to take loss after loss after loss after loss. But then when you realize, like, you do hear a lot of people's success stories that are like, I got 100 no's or whatever before I got a yes, or so many different versions of that. And that's kind of, I think, what we went through, you know? And hopefully
I mean,
it's going to be more
but also, bro,
forward.
also though too, like I'm not trying to point fingers or nothing, but we did go through some bullshit of just like, even when we were in college, like, and this was everybody, like 08, like you realize like that shit they did with student loans and all that was like illegal. You know what I'm saying? Like they literally have been caught like robbing people, paying the right amounts of money. So like student loans literally were robbing people that we were already into, but then they also were shown to be like unequivocally biased, where it would be like a black person would wind up paying more back for a loan that was the same amount of money that a white person would because of the interest rates and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's racially against you, and it was also just like socially and financially set up to be rigged for everyone. You know what I mean? So like, even that's why like that shit with Joe Biden and shit, like all these things about forgiving student loans, he should, because they let banks legitimately commit a crime against America.
You already bail these motherfuckers out all the time anyway. You make money out of thin air, so just make some money, make this shit go away, and just take all the stress off of all. Imagine that. Just do that.
Dude.
I mean, for a significant portion of people our age, the stress of life will diminish by a massive percentage. For me, if I didn't have to worry about that shit hanging over my head at all, I mean, fuck. That would open me up for a lot more like opportunities too. Like my credit's not fucked because of this. I've gotten it back up, but it's
they committed a crime.
Somebody coming at me. I just got a letter the other day from some company that it's like somebody turned in a loan and now we're coming to collect. It's like, I'm paying on all this shit. And who the fuck are you? Like, who are you and where's this loan?
Well, you know you don't have to pay on any of that shit.
No, like, I'm not paying shit. I'm waiting for – come on, Joe. Do it.
Well, no, there's this thing that once the original lender sells off the debt to someone else and to like that collections agency or whatever, what they were going to try to do was twist your arm and get a one-time payment to write all that off. Yeah, because they bought it for pennies on the dollar.
That's what was on the document. That's why I ripped that shit up.
Right, like they're gonna be like, oh well, technically you're responsible for 5,000, but we just only like today if you give us 500, we'll pay it off, because they bought it for like 10 cents. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just bad debt that a company is writing off that's already been covered and shit. So like nobody took a loss, and now they're just trying to get $500 off of you to see if you're in a panic. Will be like, oh well, don't hurt my credit here. You know what I mean? And like give them the money, but you say fuck you, they can't do nothing. They can't even put it on your credit. They'll just be like, oh well.
Aaron,
all right, then we'll try to get somebody else.
My brain has been it's dead to anyone that's a collection agent for student loans. I've been harassed for decades.
Oh yeah.
I'm still alive. I haven't been taken to debtor's prison. I pray.
Well, dude, that's the thing though. They chilled out. Like when we first got out of school, dude, that was like in the Wild West. They was wilding.
Hey, where the fuck are those loans at? Hey.
Yeah, dog. Like every day.
Like,
bro, like you would get like 8 calls and they would all just be like you would literally talk to the same company. Like in the morning, you answer one of them and be like, yeah, I don't got it. And then somebody in the afternoon to call you be like, I just told y'all this morning I don't got it, dog. Like, oh, all right, we'll stop calling today. Like I literally had somebody say that before, like, well, we won't call you back today. And then hung up the phone and like literally like 6 a.m. the next day, like, yo, what's up? Like, It's like, I ain't got a
I'm
need
going to
today.
kill myself. Sir, if you kill yourself, your next of kin will be forced to pay that payment. So we're still going to need that. It's like, what the fuck?
That's not even true anyways, but they definitely have said that. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
fuck,
Like,
I mean, whatever.
they were both
To me,
wilding
the
back.
thing of it is I get student loans in general, but we went to a bullshit school. And the way that was set up is people who were desperate to get a degree, that wanted to do something artistic, and then you get them down there and you show them this glitzy and glamorous little tour, not really show them what you're getting. And then the end of the tour is a tent full of predatory loan agents just waiting to give you a great deal on a loan so you can start going there as soon as possible. So whenever I examine that, if I like, to me, I feel like I should get to sue somebody over that. But you know, I guess I'll take the loss. Like I said, no, hey Gary J, you know who I'm talking to. Good job.
I mean, it has, like, the thing is that I feel like for the film program, it was designed for you to get a job like as a worker on a set of a movie. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't designed for you to like start a movie career though. You know what I mean? Like, even the classes that we had, like,
but like you don't need a degree to do that.
oh no, you don't. Yeah,
no one,
not at all.
And in fact, you know what is probably real fucked up?
That's why Gary Jones is a genius.
Came in there one time because I feel like I remember somebody going, you know, if you're out there, it's easy to just get on a set. You know, I feel like we had some guy come in and talk and say something sort of that.
Yeah,
you know,
we did.
Alluding to that, but
we did.
We just wanted a degree, dude. That's literally why I did that. I was like, this is the quickest way I can just get this done so I can be done with this shit.
What it was for people whose families felt they needed to be certified in order to do that. Because if you just went to your parents and was like, oh, I'm just gonna go to, you know, Louisiana where they shoot movies and just get on the set and just learn that shit, your parents would be like, no, you're not. Like, that's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But now you have a degree and you go do the same thing. It's like, well, he got, you know, they got the licensing and all that. Like, it seems more efficient.
He got the
or like, well, I mean, like, same thing, like, for the music people, I mean, the music kids, it's like, oh, well, Dad, I want to be a rapper. And it's like, man, you know, rapper. But then it's like, well, I have a degree in music production. Now you sound like an official rapper, even though you're still doing the same thing. You know what I mean? Like,
but at the same time, whenever you are like basically co-marketing your shit with a predatory loan company, like hand in hand, it wasn't even like, here's a card, you can contact somebody. It was, here is a tent full of hundreds of these fucking people to give you a loan. I mean, what the fuck? So
it was something, bro. Some shady shit.
It is what it is. They got me, but you know what? I'm out here. I'm still, I did what I could have gotten the job that I have now right out of high school, probably.
Oh yeah.
I knew the right person, but it is what it is.
But I mean, but that's what I'm saying. That's the lesson learned in that. Is just, like I said, now I understood that shit. Like I said, I ain't pointing fingers or nothing, but I just was bringing that up because to a degree, like, we did get hustled, bro. Like, not just us, but like the entire country, they did that shit to us, bro. Like, on purpose. You know what I mean? Like, our generation would just be like, oh, you're going to be indebted with student loans. Like, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was part of the plan. You can't tell me otherwise.
You got took.
Exactly. It was like, yo, we running a game over here. Because, like, this is the thing. For all this time, college tuition is going up. Worker wages are not going up. So where are your parents going to get all this magical money to pay for this new expensive college? Like, when my dad went to college, bro, that shit was like, I think it was like 10 G's at the most for like both semesters. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's not even one semester at a college now, dude. That's like a quarter of one semester at a college. So like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you have a 400% increase in like wages haven't gone up.
That's if you're getting a bullshit degree. If you're like a doctor degree or some shit, you're.
My sister is a doctor. She has over $250,000 in student loan debt, bro. She already said it. She was like, I'm never going to pay this back. I've already assessed it. I'm just paying the minimums. And then I still make enough money. You know, she's a doctor. So, I mean, she make bread. But like, imagine if you were a doctor, you didn't have to pay back $250,000 worth of loans, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, how would your life be then?
To be honest, like, I just don't feel the need to go through the hoops that they present anymore. Like, I'm paying the minimums that I need to pay. And if you try to get any sort of shit out of me now, I know I'm doing everything I can. So you can tell me whatever you want, but and you can try to like call me every once in a while, but it's just it is what it is. Like you said, we got took, and now I know that, and I am still giving you some money, but just like your sister or like everyone that is in our boat, which probably the five guys listening, just like us, we all have these loans, and if they abolished it, dude, I mean, mind blowing. I feel like that would stimulate the economy in itself, and you wouldn't have to give any money out to people. They would just
It would definitely,
like flow their money out at that point.
I feel like it would definitely help the housing markets because then people that like in my situation, it's like I have money to buy my own place, but I'm not going to get as good a rate because of my student loans. You know what I'm saying? Like my credit's not as high as it could be because of my student loans. So like if I could pay them off and then got a mortgage, because like getting a mortgage, you're going to go back into debt. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't want to have debt already and then go into more debt and then like also have my debt affect the rate on my new debt. You know what I mean? Like, but I feel like there's a bunch of people in that same situation where if like you just wrote that off and it's like, okay, you can just now have, a better credit score and shit, and then go look at the housing market. Mad homeowners will pop up, bro. Like we make so much more. That's going to affect the stock market, everything. So I don't know. I can talk for the positives of it, but I'm really just being selfish and just saying like, I don't want to pay them back the rest of this fucking money because I got took, like you said, and I feel like I shouldn't have to pay it back, but well, it is what it is.
Sally Mae, you can just suck it. That's what Aaron.
Sally Mae don't even exist no more, bro. That's what's crazy about that.
I know, dude.
Snabians.
I mean, I just feel like it is what it is. When you do evil things, shit happens. And if Joe can just relieve these loans, I'm gonna be a big supporter. So you heard it here first, folks.
Well, I think that's good for today. You don't think we recorded quite a bit?
I don't even know. We probably went like 2 hours. I don't know.
I think we did. I gotta take a leak.
It's been very stimulating, Aaron. But I think Aaron's going to the piss right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get us out of this. So thanks for listening, guys. This has been episode 34 of Ain't Life Funny podcast. Just a quick note, we are not financial experts in any way. Aaron and I, while very positive and doing very well at the moment, are not responsible for any financial disasters that occur because of our advice. So just take note of that.
Yes. Proceed with caution.
Yeah.